Okay, so the purpose of this video is to help you guys learn how to use OneNote as a student as we transition to online learning because of a reduced class size and in case anything happens in terms of school shutdowns with COVID-19 and moving on to online learning. So some of you may be familiar with OneNote already, but we're just going to quickly run through what you can expect as a student and what the expectations of you are as a student in terms of doing your work. So when you open up OneNote, yours is going to look a little different from mine. You're not going to have a big long list of all the names here. You're only going to have your name and the content library and the collaboration space. So let's pretend that we're Aaron for today. So if Aaron logged in, he would see examples, formative quiz answers, homework, and lesson answers. Now these here are different sections, okay? And we can add different sections, you can add different sections, and you can do different things in these sections, okay? These sections here may vary in names depending on the class you're in and what subject you're in. You'll also have the collaboration space and the content library. The collaboration space is a space here where you can post anything and your teacher can post anything. So for example, in the collaboration space, if we had a Q&A, and let's say we were Aaron and we were having trouble with an assignment, we could post here, how do I do stage 1 of assessment 2. So how do I do stage 1 of assessment 2? And it's just taking a little while to load up here. So as Aaron posted this, if we were Aaron here, and we posted this, the teacher can actually see who posted it and they can reply to you and you can get replies there. This is useful as well when you do group work. You'll most likely use a collaboration space here. Next is the content library. Now this is where you guys are going to find all of your instruction and all of the activities that you're doing. This is going to be organized week by week. So here we've got week 9 and week 10. These might be named different things, so it might be called term 1 week 9 or term 1 week 10. That's completely up to your teacher. But let's say we're in week 9 at the moment. So we go to term 1, week 9, and all along here we're going to have lessons 1 through to 4, depending on how many lessons you have. Now on each page here, each lesson page, you're going to have the same 5 things. You're going to have your learning intent, your success criteria, so that's one box here, your introduction activity, as you usually would in class, a little intro activity, and that could be revision, it could be just something to set you up for the class, learning content, so the main brunt of the lesson, practice, so where you're actually going to practice doing what you've learnt, taking it further, this is extension work if you finish everything and you want to go a little bit further, and supporting resources. And in the supporting resources, there are any resources that might help you if you're still a little bit confused. So let's start at the top here. Learning intent and success criteria. This sets you up with what we're doing the whole week, and this won't change in a week. It'll be the same for the whole week. So by ticking off these success criteria here, you can tell whether or not you've actually learnt everything you need to for the week. So success criteria is to simplify ratios, compare and contrast rates and ratios, use ratios to calculate values, and identify rates from proportions. So that's just a little information for what you're doing in the whole week. Next we move on to our introduction activity, and the layout might be different depending on each class, but this is how my layout's going to look here. Our introduction activity, and we'll give you a little time here. This should take about 3 minutes. And underneath you're going to find instruction, or the instruction might be on the file. Here it says, open the division 1 to 12 PDF, which is over here, and complete as many division problems as you can in 3 minutes. No calculator. And then it says to double check your answers with the calculator. Please note that in here it doesn't say to write your answers anywhere in the OneNote, which means in your personal section here, if we were Aaron, we don't need to actually write that down anyway. This is just a personal activity that you do. So if you double click this, it'll open it up and you can actually do the problems here in your book or on the OneNote, wherever you'd like. Next is our learning content, and this is the main bit of the lesson. So here it says, watch the simplifying ratios video, and when doing an example, copy into your books and insert a photo to the example section, or draw an example in your example section. So I have yet to record the video for this, but if we had the video, we would open up the video, watch it as it goes through the PowerPoint slide, and whenever the person would say, copy this example into your books, you would copy it into your book and either take a photo and put it into this example section here, or you could simply just write an example as we go along. Okay, now there's different ways to organize this. So the best way that I suggest to do it is for each section that you've got, so examples, make a page and call that page whatever lesson you're up to, and you can right click and rename this or type in the title up here. So let's say we're term 1 week 9, and you can say lesson 1, or even you could just keep one page for the week. However you organize it is up to you. Your teacher might have a specific way to organize it, but it needs to be neat and tidy so that a teacher can open it up and flick through here and see your work. The best way that I've sort of seen it is to create different sections here, and you could write instead of just examples, you could have term 1 examples and then have all the pages here. We're just going to leave that for now, and if your teacher has a specific way they want you to organize the notebook, they're going to go through that with you. But for now, we'll have term 1 week 9, and this is where we're going to do all of our examples. So if we flick back to the content library, it says copy into your books and insert a photo to the examples section. Okay, and this is where it's really important to read the instructions. So in your example sections, you're going to write down any examples that might be in that video. So let's say example 1 is we need to insert equation, and it could be something simple like x plus y equals c. Or what you could do is you can actually draw it in your book and insert a picture. Okay, so you can email it to yourself or send it to yourself and insert a picture here in the insert tab. So that's the example section there and organizing your tabs. If we go back to our content, okay, so that's the learning content here. Next we've got practice, which is your questions. So here it says complete the following work and pasting a picture of your answers with full working out in your lesson answers section. So again, paying attention to which section it's saying to post them in. Make a new page for each lesson, so there's the instruction in making a page, and you can answer these in OneNote itself. So you don't actually have to do it in your book, you can just answer it directly in OneNote. Now there's a couple ways you can go about this. You could copy these pictures, and you can actually copy these. Anything on here you can copy, but you cannot edit. You can't actually change any of this around, but you can copy it. So let's say you copy this and you go to your lessons answers tab if we're on, and we give it a title here, term 1 week 9. And we post it here. So now instead of having to flick it back and forth, we've got all our questions here. And we could go 1A, 5 centimeters to 3 millimeters, and let's just say the answer is 10 to 10, which it isn't. We can just use it like this and go B, 5 kilometers to 600 meters, 300 meters, let's say that's 1 to 1 to 1. And you can actually answer everything in here. Anything you write down in these sections here, you can, the teacher can see and you can see. Okay, so we're just going to get rid of those for now. So that is the content, and that is our questions. Taking it further, so this might be optional or your teacher might have you do it, but this is extra textbook work further expanding on rates and ratios. Okay, so the instruction's not too clear here, but in here you might have it then say answer the questions in your lesson answers tab. And again, just highlighting or knowing where you answer the tab, and the teacher might even highlight it for you. So if we answer these questions, it's going to be in our lessons answers tab, and again we can open up our PDF and just work our way through them. Last off is our supporting resources, and it's here where we can actually watch the video in OneNote, or you can actually click on the link here and it will take you to YouTube. I'm not going to bother doing that now. And these will just help you actually complete all the content for the week. Now it's really important to note that although I can see all the names as a teacher, when you open it up you're only going to see your own work, the content library, and the collaboration space. Now it's important to note as well that whatever you type down leaves a little signature. So if you type anything inappropriate or not related to the content, all of the teachers can see who wrote it and when you wrote it as well. So making sure that you're using your OneNote purely for work and not for inappropriate purposes. Thank you for listening, and hopefully this helps you learn how to use OneNote and our online learning more effectively.